Hey guys, welcome back to another JFP podcast. Today I'm here with my host Keegan, and we have the one and only John Veto. How you doing today, man?
Good, man. How about you guys?
Pretty good, pretty
Doing
good.
fantastic.
So give us a little bit of a background about yourself.
Oh man, born and raised southeastern Wisconsin. Picked up paintball. It was March 31st of 2024. So 2 years in the game. Started Usual Suspects towards the middle of the 24 season. Finished my first full competitive series just last year.
Nice.
Was that Seps?
It was Seps. Yes, I played a
Okay.
few other ones. We played at Max. I played a World Cup.
I have a question about your guys' jersey design. It's really particular. You guys have four people as they're lined up, for a police interview and whatnot.
Yeah.
Why not five?
The joke is we play 3-man, we play 5-man, put an average in there, and it's 4.
There you
But
go.
truth be told, we put together the logo, help from Mike and Mikhail Todorovich, and it was just 4. We never really thought about it until the jerseys were out, and somebody pointed it out, and we were like, wow, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, because when we first saw you guys, I was curious. I was why paintball's a 5-man sport typically, and why is it 4? So I thought there was some
Yeah.
underlying meaning behind it, and I was curious.
It's funny, we caught it. We did catch it late. Somebody brought it up, and the jerseys were already made. And we have a new jersey coming out this year, and we talked about maybe adding the 5th person, and everybody just agrees. We're going to keep it 4. I think it's kind of comical.
You got to keep it now.
Yeah.
What got you started into paintball?
Fun story. So October 18th, 2019, I got sober. I tried a lot of different things, just try to get into, and then I found myself at an iCombat. It's tactical laser tag.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for a couple years. It's a big franchise. I traveled the country a bit doing that. Did some tournaments. Tyler Johnson, friend of mine, his son, he used to come out with me and my kid, and he kept begging me to play paintball. And one day I decided to take him up on it. Spent one day at the indoor at Siege, Wisconsin's premier indoor and outdoor paintball park. I was stuck immediately. Next week I had your HK starter kit. Bought a die rise, all $1 bills from a guy. I don't know, man. I don't think I missed a weekend for a year. Immediately hooked on the game. Yeah.
So your first marker, was that the HK starter pack or was it the die rise?
It was the die rise. So first weekend it was the rental, and I found Jason Schuttenhelm. He's one of my players now still too. He was selling his. He had a custom, real pink custom job he did himself on the Keller. Bought that I think for $275 in singles.
Jeez. You still have it?
I don't. No, I eventually sold it. I got into the TM40. Somebody told me guns could talk, so I jumped on the TM40 probably within a month. Got that. It had Yoda. It had the Yoda voice pack in it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then I've been sold on Lux since. I shoot the Lux Idol.
That's what you're rocking now?
So right now I have a CS3 Pro.
Ooh.
And the Lux Idol. I normally would go with the Lux Idol, but you may know Cody Mikowski. He recently went from Arsenal over to Houston Heat, and so he'll be going for his first time ever shooting Lux. And he's never shot Lux before, so he's had my Idol probably about a month now while he gets used to it. And I can agree, I've fallen in love with the CS3 Pro. She's durable, she's comfortable. They shoot almost identical.
Okay.
Looking forward to getting back to the Idol as soon as I can, yeah.
I was a huge fan of my TM40. I sold that and 2 other of my guns to get a Shocker Era. Man, I miss my TM40 a lot. Did you like that compared to the Lux Idol? Are they very similar or?
I think the Lux Idol has a better shot quality. I also got the Bernoulli bolt in it, so it's a real smooth, very little kickback, and the cone on it's more consistent. I just think it was just a better. They should have called it like a TM40 Pro, if you ask me.
Gotcha.
The TM40 was kind of obnoxious on the volume. They kind of perfected that. They put the screen on the side, which is, I'm a gimmick guy, so I love that.
You like it on the side better than the back?
Yeah, it's a much larger display. I think it was just easier to kind of manage with.
Okay. What keeps you coming back to the field?
Number one is going to be the people. The community that I have found in paintball is insane. I think the first weekend I met one guy. The second weekend I probably met about 4 or 5. And if it wasn't for them, I'd probably find myself just off looking for another hobby.
Sure.
And then second is the competitive level that I've got to. I have invested a crazy amount of time to be able to say I've got any talent in this game. Reaching up on 2 years come March. Man, I'm out there 3-4 times a week. So
Wow.
Crazy.
yeah, I don't give up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, although we have a couple of indoor fields, I would argue it's nothing like what it's like at Siege.
Right.
How are you guys able to constantly play throughout the year? Obviously, you have a nice indoor field, but what does that do for you guys being from the Midwest, being able to play during the wintertime consistently?
I think it's a blessing. When it comes to the fight over the cold and everything, we don't really have that problem. Indoor at Siege it's just about perfect. The design of that was made. It's just the right size that there's no pillars, so you're not dealing with any obstructions in the middle of the field. It seems tight to a lot of people. We do the 5-man team practice in the off season there, and it gets a little hectic. But it is still better than sitting behind a Dorito 1 or Dorito 2 and finding there's a pillar holding the ceiling up that you got to play around.
Right.
Yeah.
In combination with the indoor, I spend at least once a week. I try to at the dojo. It's a small area. It's a reball practice. It's Cody Mikowski set it up. It's out in Burlington. It's about 50 by 25 kind of area, and I have spent a lot of time out there just improving, working on my game. Taking private sessions with him have been huge. Working with Jacob Mesko from BC Riot. He just went semi-pro. I play with him probably once or twice a week. And so there's no shortage of people to beat up on me, man.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I just find it so interesting that you guys get to play year round, but you guys are still from the Midwest and you guys don't deal with the typical, problems we do. I mean, obviously you guys can still play out in the cold. I'm assuming you have that option to go play outside, but you guys would rather play inside.
Well, yeah, we always have the option. It's there. I don't know. The weekend before Cup, that is when they really kind of shut down the outdoor. We have a grass for our airball. They do a maintained lawn. It's really, really nice. You don't get that anywhere, the turf. But the last weekend before Cup, when we were practicing the layout, that was in probably an inch of snow, half inch of snow. And that was fun. I think it was a blast. It wasn't that cold. I don't think you'd get me out there today. When you're hitting sub-zero temperatures, I mean, I love the sport, but I like
Yeah,
my fingertips a little
catching-
more.
Oh, for sure.
You ain't catching me outside in that weather. That's for
No,
damn sure.
Ain't no way. Ain't no
But
way.
yeah, what are the benefits of you guys have like we've talked about, it's an indoor and outdoor field. What is Siege offer to the Midwest player?
Siege, I mean, he's got Doug is a great guy. The owner is simply amazing. He is probably one of the best business owners that I have seen run. Right up there with Blastcamp, Virgil Frey. They, I mean, it's all there, man. You want birthday parties, it's there. You want just regular rec play, you're getting into it a little bit, it's there. He's got so much. The low impact is available. And then when it gets into the tournament scene, he offers, I think, the only off-season tournaments that are available in the area. They do a 3-man 3 times in the off-season. They also do a 1v1s. They just had the first 3-man. It was last couple weekends ago, actually. We took the first place in that one. That was our first podium and our first place for Usual Suspects. And
Congratulations.
Hell yeah.
yeah, I appreciate that, man. That was a hard fight. There's no doubt about it. I think the Warbirds were out there. Amazing team, man. Yeah, they managed to. I wasn't even sure we were in the finals for first and second. So when we actually beat them and we got the buzzer, I'm looking at James and I was like, "Are you sure this means first place?" He's like, "John, you won." So we had that moment. It's really, really awesome. And he's got a little pro shop up. Your Pro DNA gear. He's got a lot to offer, I think. He does a lot for his members. They always do an end of the year party. I mentioned before the grass field in the airball field is just amazing. A lot of turf out there, and we all know it can be a little rough sometimes. For them to manicure the lawn the way they do before it gets out there, and then every week have it right back where it kind of belongs, and it's good to play on a soft, smooth field.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone has their own personal preferences, but what type of field would you like to play on? Grass or turf?
I love the grass. I think the slide in the grass feels better. You don't have to worry. I mean, when it's wet, it's a little slicker. I've learned with turf though, when it's wet, boy, it's an ice rink. And I've face planted a few Doritos in my day because I slid a little late and just kept going through it, But the grass, it just feels good. It feels good out there, man. you know.
For sure. Yeah, I like playing in the grass, but I prefer turf. I started on turf playing speedball, and it's just the most familiar thing I got.
Yeah, turf is very popular. It's easier maintained to just keep it going. I know Doug and Rob over at Siege, they fight the good fight to keep the grass going. But turf also requires a lot that if you don't keep up with it, it gets that weird underlayer of filth. You gotta really keep up on it. They're indoor. They tear that down and they pressure wash the entire floor, get all the oils out, drain it, get it clean.
Hell yeah, that's
I, I,
awesome.
I like both, but much like you started on turf. My first airball, my first team practice, my first real experience with competitive ball was on the grass, and I think the field was great. But then I walked out into World Cup. That was about the driest, hardest grass I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think the grass plays a role on what it is when you walk onto it.
Yeah, and depending on how bad the turf is or however you want to put that, it really tears up your clothes too.
It does. It'll burn right through it, man.
You started Usual Suspects, and I assume that you kind of managed the whole thing.
Okay, so that's a fun story. We were all rec players. We were good friends. We got into scenario ball. I played that for a little while. We all joined one team, kind of traveled a little bit with that, and then we hit Windy City, the last Chicago NXL event.
Hmm.
And while we were there, everybody was talking about just wanting to do competitive ball, and me, I was instantly hooked. Watching those guys play the way they did, and I was like, man, I want to do that. And everybody's like, yeah, me too, me too. And I was like, why don't we? And there was some reluctancy, and I looked at everybody and I said, you know what? I'm going to start a team and let's do it. And I just hit the ground running from there. I did not know what I was signing up for at all. It is way more complicated than I thought it would be, but it's definitely beneficial. I've had the luck to pick up the McHale. He's 17 now. He was 15 when I met him. Being a minor, his dad was always around. He's got a lot of years in the sport. He's been playing for a long time, and he's just he doesn't want to really compete. So Mike has been an amazing coach. I mean, shout out to Mike for that. He also has the ability to tell people the things I don't want to have to tell them. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
So between us two, it's been perfect. So
There you
That's
go.
nice.
yeah, sometimes somebody doesn't want to sit out or say, Mike calls it out, says it the way it is, and everybody goes with the coach. And I'm really grateful that I have him there, because I mean, I'm only 2 years in the game. I'm not even 2 years in. And trying to tell guys who have been playing for a few years, some who have been playing even longer, it's hard for me to think that my paintball metrics in my brain is where it needs to be telling, the five what we're going to do. So
Right.
having him and having his experience behind it has been huge. I mean, we started SEPs out. The first tournament was just, we're going to finish. And we did. Then we skipped the second in SEPs, and then we played the third and the fourth, and we found ourselves in a three-way tie both times to get out of the prelims. We did not make it out of this weird kind of setup that Patty had to figure out the ties. Shout out to Patty at Competitive Edge. He's an amazing guy. And then the fourth, we managed to make it out of prelims for the first time. That was our goal. We were super happy. And that's the first time we ran into the Warbirds.
Mm-hmm.
And they taught us a quick lesson. So
Well, you repaid them. You repaid them.
we did come back later in the 3-man to do big things, but in the 5-man they're an amazing team.
Yeah,
And
they're good.
they're really good. The first point it kind of went well. The second point we didn't really adjust to change. We tried the same thing again, and they were all over it. They demolished us that point. And so I say if you're never losing, you're not learning. If you're not getting shot, you're not gaining any experience. So that was a quick learning lesson, and we all came back a little to the drawing board for the next season, and we're super happy to have that. So
Yeah. You
yeah.
talked a little bit about face planting into a couple Doritos. Is that what you normally play?
So I'm a Dorito 1. Yeah, I'm a very aggressive player.
Okay.
Even at my age, I think gaining the real estate and getting in your face with it is more beneficial to me than trying to sit back
I
and wait for the
agree.
game to progress.
I agree.
I'm a huge 3-man player, and a lot of that carries over to the 5-man for me, which I have to be careful with because I mean those twos in the back, they change the game.
Yeah, it's a
So
whole different ball game.
yeah, I've spent a lot of time focusing on movement and working in the dojo. It's only 50 feet long, and we use reball, and it's more of a one ball shot. So it's it's just the skill of the game
Mm.
compared to full size field where there's a lot more to go. When you're 1v1ing somebody 50 feet away and you only got about 9 bunkers altogether, you learn to react quick. You learn your proactive and reactive movements, and so I carry that into the fields. So if I'm gonna play you, expect me to be a bunker away if I can.
Oh, for
I don't want
sure.
to be 9 bunkers back, So I play a very aggressive game.
Yeah, me.
Yeah,
I play the one in the snake, and I play very aggressively as well. Keegan's had to tell me a couple times that I need to sit back a little bit, play at this bunker for at least 20 seconds of the point before you start pushing.
because we've had the blessing of picking up a couple of guys at the end of the season. One of them being a guy named Joey. He's from out east, and he noticed he got frustrated at the end of last season because he kept dying a lot, and he found out the reason why he kept dying is because we as Midwest paintball players are very aggressive, pushing up the field, right off the start. Do you kind of notice that same thing with other teams, or is that not typically the case?
Do I see other teams being very aggressive? Some,
Yes.
yes. I've noticed in a lot when you get into later game, like when you get out of pregame or prelims, excuse me, everybody seems to play a little more back than they did during the prelims. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And probably because they don't want to get eliminated. They now have a really good shot to get into the podium, so they play a little bit different than they did. And meanwhile, I think, if there's real estate to be bought, I'm buying it, I'm taking it, and hopefully the team comes up with me so we can close out the point. A lot of teams, I think there's some good aggressive ones, at least at SEPs or SEEPs as Patty would call it. I think there's a lot of aggressive teams, but there's also a lot of slow play as well. I think
Yeah.
it's a good blend.
Yeah, I agree. It's a lot of fun going out there and playing against a bunch of different teams from all over the Midwest.
Yeah, I love that. And we got them all the way from Iowa. You guys out in Minnesota. I mean, they really do spread and come in. So
A lot of
Yeah,
siege teams, though. A lot of siege teams.
yeah, Siege has a lot of teams. Doug, the owner, has always said like the Siege player starts as a rec ball. He goes into scenario. He finds himself in tournament ball, and for a long time he'll stay at Siege, and then he'll find himself moving to like Edge, Blast Camp, stuff like that. I don't see ever trailing away from Siege. Just his business model has been amazing. He's been a great guy, and they run a really good business.
yeah,
Obviously, Blast Camp. I'm gonna call the mecca of Midwest paintball. So I can see how it gets a lot of attention.
oh yeah.
It is a great place to play at. If you guys have ever had the chance to be there, you know.
Yeah,
How many
I would love to go.
how many people do you during weekends, do you get a lot of people for open play, like people doing rentals for open play, or is it just mainly, advanced play guys?
So I went out there Saturday, just a couple days ago, and they had so many private parties and so many walk-ons that I left early, which is not a thing. Normally I'm there all day, but there was so many, and you only have one indoor field, so you found yourself. Have you guys been to Siege?
I have not, no.
I have not either.
So the field is probably 2/3 of a normal airball field. I don't have the exact dimensions of it, but it's tight.
Hmm.
And the walk-on, we had 22 players.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
Dang.
it's really big. We split it in teams of 3. We do a round robin on that, and then you got done with that, and there was 2 private parties, I think, or 3 at any given time. So the place really does, even in the winter, it stays really, really busy. So it can slow down a little bit for you, you know what I mean? Because there's only one field. So you can find yourself playing a point and then waiting a little while before you can get back on the field. I like to
Sure.
go on Wednesday night. There's maybe 8 to 10 of us tops. You can play some good 4s, you can play some good 5s, 3-mans, and you can just spin all night. So
Perfect.
there's no shortage of walk-ons. There's no shortage of rental players. Yeah, I think it's a great place where the guys get a chance to see kind of what the tournament ball is, because they're gonna come out with you, and if they like it, they keep coming back. So
Yeah, because you described your situation as being blessed to play during the winter time. And I was going to ask you something similar to this question. I would have asked, what we've asked other people is, what could people do to improve, open play and get numbers in? But it sounds like Siege isn't really having a problem. But do you have any recommendations for other fields on what they could be doing to replicate what Siege is doing and get more guys in through the door?
So, in the sense of growing new players into the game, I think it's important that the community does what it does. I think 1 out of 100 people, maybe even 200 people that I meet, I've met a lot of people playing this. There's very little negativity from them. You don't run into people who just don't want to be your friend, even though you don't know them. It's amazing how just community of paintball brings so many different people together. I mean, I'm 40 years old, and so I'm hanging out with 20, 30-year-old guys that I probably never would have met in any other fashion, and they've become some of my best friends. So I think keeping that community the same welcoming spirit that you do, let's not go out and just shit on the rentals, because one bad time their first time, and they're not going to want to come back.
Right.
Yeah.
So be welcome with them. Give them a little bit of rundown of what you're doing. Let them see your gun. I think that's huge. The guys that show up, the teenagers that are going to be the next, to carry the flame, if you will, let them see it because they're interested, and they may not speak up, but
Yeah, for
they're
sure.
interested in what you're shooting compared to that tipman that they just rented. And so if you spark that little flame and they really feel like they're welcome to come back, they're gonna come back
Yeah,
and they're gonna play.
there's plenty of times where you'll see a kid just light up when he gets to shoot one of our guns, and he just sits there and rips it, and they just love it.
I've had a lot of fun handing my gun off to somebody, and I'm like, "Hey, careful with the trigger." And the moment they touch it, it shoots because they're used to, the Tipman, which really takes a trigger pull,
Hmm.
and you can see them just kind of do that little jump. Oh man, really? And I'm like, "Here, man, load the popper that way. Go ahead, let it go." And they have a blast. And
Yeah.
and some of them come back. I've seen a lot of guys that for the first time they came out, and I saw them there, and now they're out there as much as they can every weekend, whatever they can. And I think it's just huge.
What's one of your favorite moments in paintball?
My favorite moments in paintball. That's a good one. So I like in-game wise, I think one of my best moments, we did the WCPL up at Commando Sports in Green Bay, and 10v10s were a blast. It's a lot of fun. And I got into one of those, "Hey man, I hit you" kind of moments, and I'm like, "Hey man, you're hit." And he was moving into the bunker right next to mine, and he kind of screamed back. It was like a neighbor over the fence. He's like, "No, you didn't." And I kept going back and forth. "Yeah, you did." Da, da, da. And it went on for a moment, and then the ref finally went over and checked him, and he's like, "Hey man, you're hit." And he stood up and he walked off, and I got out. I think it was Lake Superior, actually. I got out and I was like, "Hey man, was that you over there?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I just want you to know I'm not mad." And he's like, "No man, that was hilarious. That was one of the best moments, And it was good to see, that everybody. I think everybody in paintball has that mind frame on the field. Like there's no mercy. There's no friends. You're on the other side of this. I got to win. But
Yeah.
the moment it was done, me and him just kind of laughed, chuckled, shook hands, and that's a moment that I think was one of my best times playing paintball.
Hell
There's
yeah.
there's one other one where I was on the indoor. I was playing against Alex Schwant, good buddy of mine, used to be on my team, and I went to bunker him. And if you've ever shot the TM40 or you've ever shot the Idol and there's no paint in your hopper, there's a nice little alarm that goes off. And it went, and it did. It went off. I was right on the other side of the bunker, and he's like, "Yeah, you idiot!" And he just popped out and just lit me up for it, dude.
That's awesome.
That was the moment I turned the volume down on my TM40.
Oh, for
You got
sure.
snitched on. You got
Yeah.
snitched on.
Gun just threw you away.
Yeah, it gave me up quick, man. I think those
That's
are
funny.
two of my favorite moments ever playing paintball.
For sure. That's awesome.
Oh man. Do you have any what are your plans for your team? What do you plan on playing this year? Are you planning on going back to Seps?
We're definitely gonna be at Seps. Yeah, you guys have seen the schedule for Seps. It's a little bit different this year. He's doing 3 main events, so we are committing to that. Just part of the progression of the team. This is our second year. We made it into the semi-quarterfinals last year, so our next step is to push that a little farther. Hopefully, catch a podium by the end of the year. As the owner, of course, I have high dreams, but I have reasonable and reachable expectations. Like I said, we started off with just finishing. Then we moved on to let's get out of prelims. And now we want to focus to try and make it to the podium. We want to try and take that win. We all know that's really tough with Team Siege on the field. So it's gonna be fun. Sesame Street Gang is out there. You guys are out there. Everybody gives up such a good fight on that, and we just We want to progress a little bit more there, so we are going back at least for the 3 main events. I did set up a D5 max line. A
Oh.
couple of the guys from Usual, yeah. A couple of guys from the Usual Suspects are in there. I also have, if you guys know Midwest Legion, I got Sean
Heard of 'em.
Hankey coming to play, and then from Iowa, Oliver Brown. He played on Quick Trip Factory last year, I believe, at SEPS. He's also going to be joining that line, so I think we have a really good chance in D5.
Yeah, good luck to you guys.
So we're doing that. Yeah, I've got a full schedule. I'm hoping to get at least a 3-man, if not a 5-man, for Cincinnati. There's thought of trying to get out to Lone Star event in Texas, and then last stop would be World Cup.
Hell yeah.
Hey, you're not joking. You guys are booked.
Yeah, you guys sound busy this season.
I've put a lot of time into this, man, and it's not even just on the field. Like I said, I played max and found myself winded quick. So I hit the gym. I dropped 30 pounds. I started conditioning. I'm up to about 5.5 miles every morning and 15 minutes on the stair climber. So, yeah, I'm hoping max this year. I won't feel tired, you know. I know that at 40, I got to work that much harder to try and play with kids that are 20. So I think we're going to do really well.
Yeah, no, I hope you guys do. You guys are making tremendous strides already, and I hope you guys continue that success that you guys are going and continue building on that. I know for us, you know, goal is to try to do EXL. If for some reason that falls through, you'll definitely see us back out at SEPS for sure.
Okay.
So yeah, I love what Patty has set up. I love how he's bringing X-Ball into it now, and you know that was one of our things that we were considering. I know the Warbirds are coming up to play X-Ball. I talked to Jake and JT, so they'll be coming up. What is the hardest thing that you have to deal with managing a team?
In my team specifically, because we're such a tight-knit group and we're all friends at the end of the day, we do stuff outside of paintball. We always try and do like team dinners. That's a big thing after the tournaments, after the practice. We all get together and just kind of vibe. So one thing I have always seen when it comes to managing any type of team and people is the little bit of drama and keeping everybody happy. I don't have that problem much with Usual Suspects. The biggest thing that I have found is finding the commitment level of a person, because like when we first started this, everybody was, yeah, we're gung-ho, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Then it kind of came time to do it. And not just commit to that day, but commit to the money. We all know that this is a money pit. Mm-hmm. This is never going to get us rich, guys. It's like buying a boat. So in those moments, I've found it's always kind of stressful. You always worry, you know, are they going to do it when they say they're going to do it? And when you put up the money, you know, that aspect comes into it. That's my biggest hurdle, I think. Everybody has always come through. Max was it's an expensive drop for the entire season, and every single person was paid up within a few days, so I'm blessed. But I'm not gonna lie, it's always stressful when you do that and you don't know if, you know, something's gonna happen to somebody's money and they just can't do what they thought they were gonna do, or their time frames changed or whatever. So I think that's the biggest hurdle when it comes to managing the team.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think to go basically, I think we have the same thing in common, where the reason why there's a question mark on EXL is because, you know, the commitment aspect, you know, no one's put up money yet. No one's, and you know, it's kind of hard because you're like, we gotta have a discussion about this, because, you know, there's only so many spots available and we need to get the ball rolling on some things. And, you know, when we try to do team meetings, you know, only a couple people show up, and I'm just like, hey guys, we need to fucking get together so we can talk about shit, you know. And I think I put a message out to our guys today saying, hey, I know, you know, you guys are, you know, freaking busy, but, you know, can I just get an hour out of your day? Even if you're gone out and about, just join in through your phone. Let me know what your opinions are, and just, you know, talk through, and let's figure out what we're going to be doing this year. Because one other thing is that our communication is not the best. Primarily, I guess that can be put on me, because, you know, I need to be more straightforward with these guys. But yeah, I think you and I share about similarly the same struggles.
Yeah, it doesn't help with me either. I'm a terrible texter.
So I handle things a little bit differently. I kind of take a democratic approach to a lot of things. The one rule I've always made to these guys is that your family is going to come first. You know, your priorities are going to be there before anything. This is, at the end of the day, this is a hobby. This is a sport, and this is not ever going to feed your kids. You know where we're at. We are not trying to be a pro team or anything. We all love doing it, but at the end of the day, you have to make sure your kids are fed, your roof is paid for, and those things. So I've never been very big on the obligation when it comes to team practices, when it comes to discussions, things like that. I do a lot of the voting board. So I do it through Snapchat and Discord. We started in Snapchat, but it's gotten bigger. We've gotten more guys, so we took it over to Discord. And I throw the vote in. And for those guys that even can't really play and they can't get to things, the only requirement I have in actual action is that they respond to it, a yes or a no, whatever it is, so that I know they're there. Because I see a lot of guys that fall off and they get done and you just don't hear from them. And then 3 months later, you're getting ready to organize your line and you don't even know if this guy still wants to play. So I always tell people that once you stop the voting, then I'm gonna look to you, and if you're gonna go, I'm just gonna say, hey man, what's up? Are you still around? And then if they're gone, they're gone. I'm not mad at them. You know, they're still friends, so it's all good.
Yeah, I
But
like
I
that.
do have to figure out if they're gonna be there or not. We did one at the beginning of the season. We did one discussion. We had one video chat that was kind of required, and we kind of laid out what we wanted to do for the year, and everybody was there, and it worked out really well. But I try not to force too much when it comes to team practice. We have about 10 or 11 guys. So we can always fill a 5-man line for practice, and they get in there and they practice. They also know that if they aren't out there and they're not improving, then your whole team's improving. Who's going to be out there at the start box, you know? And
Hmm.
none of them have ever been salty or hurt when they're not the ones sitting there getting ready for the countdown, because they
Yep.
know that they couldn't make those practices and things. But there's, you know what, they're still there, man. They're still pitting. They're still helping out. I can't believe how blessed I am to have as many great guys where even if they're not playing, they're coming out. We've sometimes have as much pit as we have people, you
Oh
know.
wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, big, huge shout out to Morgan and Maddie. It's Jeff, one of my snake players. His fiance and his stepdaughter, they're at every event. She's 11 or 12. Sorry if I'm wrong, Maddie. She loves being out there on that, you know, and it's huge to have them. And my guys that weren't playing for whatever reason, when they show up, they're wiping pods, they're filling pods, they're making sure the gear's all good. They're making sure when you walk out there you got everything you need. They're filling tanks, and it's never short. Sometimes I forget I've got to do any of that stuff at all.
Yeah.
So it's huge, you know. But
Yeah. Those people who are, filling pods, letting people down, those people are just as crucial as the 5 guys who are going on the field. I've
oh,
always
they're
had a big
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I stand to say, man, they keep us going. In the 3-man, I didn't have that. I had one buddy, Tyler Johnson, and a couple of guys. We had 2 lines in there, and the other line got eliminated. Sorry, Mikhail, but we were the ones who eliminated them. And after that, they were helping out. But when you start getting into that back-to-back spins, you know, it's all of a sudden. Rob, the guy, the manager there, he's like, "Hey, you guys gotta be on there," and I hadn't even filled pods. I was still trying to degas from the last point. And so having them, you know, there is it's as big as the guys who are out there shooting the gats, you know.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. It makes a world of a difference coming off the field and having people with pods ready to wipe down hits, whatever it takes to get you out on the field immediately for another point if need be. It makes a world of a difference in having to do it all by
Oh,
yourself.
world of difference. Yeah.
Yeah, you reached out to me last season for one of the last Annandale tournament, see if we can get another guy on your team. I sent you over Justin. Do you have any feedback on
Oh
that?
yeah, Malin. So Malin, he's not on my team, but he's a good buddy. I think he's still refs. He's in college right now. He was a ref at Siege. I'm not sure if he still is. I think he is. But yeah, the moment somebody mentioned that 3-man, I was like, yeah, I know those guys up at Annandale. He seemed to have a blast. I didn't get a chance to discuss too much with him, but he was super happy to make it out there and play that. He's been playing for a long time. I think he's got a few years, but it was always rec ball and everything. And he got in and wanted to play a few competitive. He was at Seps for one of them, and then he went to that 3-man. And from what I know, man, he was very, very happy to be able to play that. I was kind of sad I missed it. It was last minute. I didn't know much about it, and all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, do you know anybody out there?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do."
Yeah, because I sent you over Justin, and he's not with us, but he's a very good guy who comes out, to practice at Annandale. And you guys went far with him. I was like, oh shit! Like that was a pleasant surprise, and it was really fun to see you guys do. Those guys do really well. For getting a last minute guy on your roster. I think
Yeah,
that's
I'm
freaking
pretty
huge.
sure they
Yeah, it's
knocked out
huge.
one of our lines as well
Yeah,
out of prelims. Or no,
Nice.
I think it was the Ochos maybe. I don't quite remember.
Yeah, Siege will
yeah,
make a player. I'll tell you that. Siege will make a player. Like I said, there's no shortage of people who can just shoot me all day. You're playing really great players. Team Siege, full of them. Jeremy Schreier, great player. And Andrew Curdy, he's just made Division 3. Nate Roberts just moved on to professional level with Distortion. These are all Siege players, you know.
Wow. I feel like there's a lot of
It's huge.
I feel like there's a lot of potential up in the Midwest, but because paintball, at least the professional side of it, isn't very well known around here, that potential is just wasted.
Yeah, I agree. I think being in the corner of Wisconsin where we're at, we're kind of almost in that hub that gives us access to Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. It's not major. I mean, we're not Texas, we're not California, we're not Florida. But being where we are in the Midwest, I think we have access to a lot. Within 2 hours, I can meet every major field that you can think of, you know. So it helps a lot.
Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
when you get north like you guys, it's got to get scarce.
yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is.
Yeah, a lot of the guys are driving, 1, 2, 3 hours just to go out for a day of practice. And it not only is paintball expensive, but then that wears and tears your car. You got to pay for gas, this, that, and the other. So it's definitely a lot harder out here.
Yeah, it adds up, man. The hotel stays, the travel, it's all a part of that budget for paintball.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm blessed. I'll say it again. I turn off of my street, I turn right, I drive 32 minutes, and then I turn right into the parking lot. So
Ooh,
it's pretty lucky. Yeah, I don't have to get off one street. There's no crazy traffic to deal with. It's all county road. It's a nice little drive back when you're unwinding, you know, still taking the sweat off.
Yeah.
So we're lucky there, you know.
Yeah, I'm lucky too, man. I besides going around my block to get onto the main road, I take one turn to get to the field and it's 25 minutes from me.
Yeah, I love that.
if you don't mind me asking, how much you pay for a case?
At Siege, so with the member discount, I think I spend it's the numbers between 55 and 60, so it's
Okay.
not bad. I think it's not bad at all. I think
Yeah.
it's 57 something. You guys, I don't know if you've ever been to Paintball Explosion. Great place to play, but it's $100 a case.
Ooh.
It gets up there. Yeah. So we're pretty lucky on that end. Sometimes he has 5-star, costs a little more, but it's great for team practice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I can't speak for other fields specifically a lot because I don't have that much experience out there and I don't want to give false impressions. But I know at least for Annandale, with their season pass, they're spending around $61 after tax
Yeah.
with the
But
season pass,
that's not bad, man. That's not bad.
and then
I
depending,
I've been to a lot of places. I like going to different areas. I love meeting the new people in the community. Badlands is another great one, but they're bring your own paint, so there's a benefit to that one. I've been out in Fort Knox in Indiana. It's another one. Their paint's a little higher, but they have great like rec ball fields and stuff. So I've been to a lot of places and I've spent a good penny on some. Siege is still bringing that good GI Sports, you know, field paint or tournament grade paint at a good price. So
Yeah, man. Hey,
can't beat it.
if you ever want to set up a practice with us one day, man, hit us up and we'll figure some shit out. And
It'd be
I
cool.
encourage it. I definitely want to get to Annandale. I was talking to the Warbirds at 3-man, and it sounds like you got some really cool stuff up there. I really want to check it out. I think you're about 4 or 5 hour drive, so
okay.
it's one of those weekend things. And luckily, I'm gonna give a big shout out to Travis Gitter. He's made my hotel stays a little bit more affordable and easier, so the traveling is feasible.
Yeah.
So Annandale is definitely one of my stops. Otherwise, I always recommend you stop out at Siege. There's never a shortage of 5, 6 teams on a Sunday morning to play. You know, if you're gonna come on down, that's a great day to do it. Starts about 9 a.m. I think, and points are spinning by 9:30. You run till about 11, and you will find a great way to improve your team by playing so many different teams.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to
Summertime,
make a
that could
trip
be
out
8,
there.
9. Man, it's a good one.
Would it be beneficial for us to go? Would it be possible to like set up like a private scrimmage with like a couple of Siege guys, and if like the us and the Warbirds come up there, would that be a possible thing? Like a set up a scrimmage? And then my second question is, if we go up, would it be beneficial if we played Saturday, Sunday, or a Friday, Saturday, or whatever for 2 days?
I say you make it for Saturday, and then you're there for Sunday practice. That's your best, and then of course back to rec play at noon on Sunday. That's your best bet. I think Friday it's a little later in the day if people do come, and then it's less. But if you're looking for that experience for a lot of the teams and a lot of the competitive end of it, Saturday and Sunday is your best bet. Now, as for private, my buddy Doug. Money talks. Anything is workable. I've worked out some arrangement with him to do some kind of private clinics there, and he was more than willing to let us borrow the airball field in the summertime to do a clinic with Cody or something like that. So I think it's arrangeable. He doesn't like a surprise of it,
Yeah.
but I think at the end, Doug would definitely work something out to make it happen. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I think especially for us, going out to Siege would be an invaluable experience for us to go, especially during the wintertime. If we can dust some rust off,
Sure.
off our gears and get going, especially the cold time of the year, like January, February, March. I think that would be huge.
I think there's a lot to learn from playing other teams. When you're playing the same team, even if it's just if you and I got the suspects together every week and JFP played the usual suspects every week, you start to learn to play their play styles.
Yep.
And so you start to hone in the perfection of against that play style or that team. And having 5, 6 teams, and the next point is going to be a different team, you've got to learn to adjust to any kind of situation. You have to learn to play any type of player. You can't just know, okay, this guy always kind of does this. This is what he's going to do, and then adjust to that. Because after a while, that's really all you're picking up. So playing multiple teams like we do at team practice, I think it's a great way to really keep your skills not just narrowed into that one style.
Yeah, I agree. It's also a lot of fun playing against other teams as well. Just it's a different vibe.
It is.
It's cool meeting new people. It's totally different.
I live for the people. I do. I don't care who you are. You show up at the field, or I come to your field. I might be quiet for 2 seconds, but I'm gonna get to know you. Start with the refs, learn the teams. Yeah, I immediately try and just insert myself into the community, and 99.99% of the time, they're just so welcoming to it that I think it's the best.
I think that's how it was when we first met you. I think we were there at the first SEPS event, and I think the usual suspects and us showed up for the scrimmage. Nobody else, and we're like, "Fuck it, we'll just scrimmage each other." And we just started scrimmage each other and just shoot. That was the coolest.
It's funny you bring that up because I remember walking over to the team and I say, "Hey guys, that's Minnesota on their jersey." And we're gonna make sure those guys are welcome and they feel good and they want to come back, because nothing worse than traveling that far and finding out that nobody is friendly and that it's just a horrible time. And why would you go back to that ever again? Right. So my team, we've got 2 rules, man. We're gonna win fairly. We're not going to be out there just cheating to win. And then the other thing is that they're going to be known as cool people on the field. They're going to be known off the field as some of the most friendly guys that you're going to find at any tournament. And they have stood true to that all the way to the end.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it's way better when you can go out onto the field and really compete with some of these guys and then come off the field and talk to them and become good friends with these people.
Yeah, it's like you never just put 15 balls on their back, They're like, all right, man, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that, dude. I think it's great.
I feel like I've seen more people get mad at refs than other players.
Are you talking about at SEP specifically or just
No,
in general?
just anywhere, man.
I think there was probably the 3-man World Cup. There was probably 30 teams, 38 teams, something like that.
Oh wow!
And it seemed like we all came together on one common ground, and that was, what are the refs doing? So Yeah.
That
Refs
happens.
are an interesting story, but they're there, and if they weren't there, we wouldn't be playing. So
No, for
Yeah.
sure.
shout out to all those refs out there.
We appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man, it's definitely a harder job than you would think it is. You know, oh, he got hit clearly. If he did or not, like, I don't know, it's a lot harder job than most
It
people think it
it's
is.
so hard. Yeah, it's really difficult, and they're not finding a giant bonus check for doing it. Seps, they do an amazing job. I love all those guys out there. I've grown to be really good friends. Alex Schwant, I mentioned him earlier. He's become a ref out there. He was the usual suspect in the beginning, and I think those guys do a great job of doing the best they can. Unfortunately, we all know that paintball is full of cheaters, and they're full of people who are trying to get rid of a little bit of paint on their shirt. So I salute them. At the end, I'm always super grateful that they're there. Sometimes there's those moments where you just can't believe that call didn't happen or that call did happen, but they're doing the best they can. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, they're all great guys.
I know for us, on several occasions, we tried to bribe one of the refs with some pickles.
He took the
I
pickles,
don't know
but
who.
did not take the bribe.
They didn't take the pickles, huh?
No, he took the pickles, but he didn't. He wasn't out there making good calls for us. You know.
I
Which
like
is,
that.
we're not trying to bribe anybody, but it was just kind of a funny moment where
Yeah.
I think I think at every team captain's meeting, before every tournament, I always ask what's the price. So
There you go. It's always
at
fun
least
just
being
cracking
upfront
jokes
on
out there.
it.
Everyone's always kind of tensed up at first. You know, it's good to crack some jokes. Especially you, John, man. You're always out there just joking around, having fun with anybody and everybody out there. You're always talking to everybody. You're always making the community and everybody feel welcome. It's awesome.
I think it's the only reason that's going to keep me coming back to certain events, certain places. I'm headed down to Houston in 2 weeks. I'm interested to see what their paintball community is like, because I mean Midwest in general is known for being a bit more friendly. We're gonna wave you through in traffic before we go. We're gonna hold the door for you. It's really known in the Midwest. And going
Yeah.
down to Houston, I just want to see the scene. I want to see what it's like out there, and I'm interested to see if that same camaraderie carries all the way across the country.
Only one way
Are
to
you
find
going
out.
down to Fit? Are you going down to Fit or some other field?
No, so right now originally it was gonna be Combine. I wanted to go to Combine and just kind of test my skills a little bit. Through some weird technical errors with their website, I won't be going to Combine, but I do want to try and get out to Wasteland anyways. They have an
Okay.
open field. And then there's a place called Splat Zone or Splat Tag, something like that. It's supposed to be real cool. And then TRX, I think it is. I got a buddy down there. We're gonna meet up. He reached out to me when he heard I was coming, and so we're gonna hit those fields and see what it's like. Yeah, I made the mistake of booking my flight and my hotel and my car and everything, and then trying to sign up for Combine, and Combine didn't work. So
Ooh,
No.
that's all right. We'll find a way to play paintball out there, man. It's gonna be warm. I get to play outside, and it'll
there
be
you
some
go.
Yeah, you lucky motherfucker.
Looking at the
fun.
positive.
I think that's so. I think that's what we should really take up. Is every once in a while, paintball is a very expensive sport, but taking a trip down south once in a while and playing down south. I think that's what everybody should be doing. Migrate,
I think
flock
it's
down
huge.
south.
I think it's huge. I want to get out to California. I want to see their scene. Florida was amazing. I mean, World Cup was hands down a great experience. I put together a three-man ragtag kind of quick team with some buddies from North Carolina. We played that. I also played the Hormesis Joust. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, the 1v1s. We did win that one. The three-man didn't go as well, but it was a learning experience. But being able to go down there and play somewhere new and just I think it's huge. I love to travel, so paintball is a good reason to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Out of curiosity, which joust did you participate in?
Do you mean what day? So there's the joust and then there's the duels.
Okay.
The joust is going to be two 10-man teams. We played an hour or two, and then it's King of the Hill style. I made it onto Team Glorious. I'll be Team Glorious forever, and I got to meet some really cool guys. Smitty was our commander. He won the duels. He's a 1v1 master for sure.
Hell yeah.
And I met Jackson Frey. He was the general there. I'm sorry, not Jackson. Harrison Fry, excuse me. He was the general for our team, so it was cool to see that. I got into a bit of a tiff with Oliver Lang about whether or not I was out. That was interesting. But it was really, really cool. And at the dojo, Cody Mikowski and I have spent a lot of time, and Jacob Mesco and Nate Roberts. We spent a lot of time doing 1v1s. We'll probably do an hour plus after drills and stuff, just doing those. So 1v1s has become a huge focus for me. I love them. If there's any way to see if you're lacking anywhere, it's in a 1v1 because nobody on your team can make up for your mistakes, you know?
Mhm.
So I've had a lot of fun trying to figure those out. I wear a lot of welts trying to figure those out every single day, but I do enjoy them. I think they're huge.
What's one piece of advice that you've gotten from someone good at the sport, a pro, that's stuck with you and you still utilize?
Um, Dude, there's so much. Mesco's, I mean, he's not a pro, but he's semi-pro, and I've taken so much from him. It's crazy. He always just says, "Hey, man, I'm happy to shoot somebody out on the field," but after every point, he's very analytical about things. He's so smart when it comes to it, and he's transferred a lot of that off into an old man who otherwise would just be trying to figure it out on his own. I say it all the time.
Mhm.
Cody Mikowski has given me a ton of advice. I think the strongest advice that I could say I've ever picked up, and it comes from both of them, is that there's a lot of different ways to play this, and what works for you may be slightly different than what I'm about to teach you, you know. But if you're open to learning and you want to learn this way, this is kind of the style that you're going to pick up on. But at the end of the day, it might be slightly different, and don't think that you have to do it exactly that way. So I think that's the biggest piece of advice I take onto everything I learn.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, yeah, that makes total sense. You may play a certain way. Someone can give you some advice or tell you to do something a little differently, and you take that into consideration and implement it into your own way of playing. And it could help you out a lot or not help you at all.
Yeah, it does. You know, luckily, like I said, I'm not even 2 years in this. So being able to have the opportunity to pick up underneath Mesco, who was trained by Cody, and then eventually start training with Cody too, I have had the ability to not perfect the imperfections. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Mhm.
Because the rule practice makes perfect, I think is just not true. Practice just makes consistency. And if you're consistently practicing the wrong thing, then you're consistently going to be doing the wrong thing. So to be able to grab so much information and so much little techniques, I mean, it's down to just your finger placement on your gats, you know, how you're looking down the barrel, every little bit of movement, you know, foot placement, it all comes down to that split second that saves you, you know, from that guy getting you or you getting him. And so I picked up on all these early. I don't have a lot of bad habits. I still have bad habits, but not a lot. And it's just simply because I had that opportunity so early. So it's really lucky.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good for you, man.
What's your favorite joint that you like to go to, like eating out or restaurant wise? What's your favorite food?
Oh man, I'm a local food guy when it comes to favorites. Seps right down the street. There's a place called Boundaries. We go there after every event. So their roasted chicken is amazing. If you're in Janesville, check them out. But I like local foods. When I travel, I don't want to eat anything chain really. So it really depends on where I'm at. Locally, there's a great pizza joint. I'd say Nona's in Racine or Sturdivant technically. They're one of the close favorites, but there's so many, man. Everywhere I go, there's somewhere that I try and find a local joint.
Yeah, pizza is always good. Can't go wrong
Oh
with
yeah.
pizza.
What kind of pizza do you? This is getting way off topic, but what kind of pizza you like?
I'm a thick crust person. I do. I believe that it's okay to put pineapples on your pizza.
Jam.
Gross.
Straight to jam.
Straight
No,
to
no.
jail. My kid's ordering extra pineapples, you know, so he's going to prison for that one.
Yeah.
I like chicken barbecue pizza with a little
Oh,
onion
yeah.
on there. I think it's really, really
Mm.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, the good old sausage and black olives, I like those too. When it comes to food, man, I'll eat everything. I will, except for tuna from a can.
Tuna
I
from a can.
I love
Tuna
black
from a
olives,
can.
but I can't stand putting it on anything because it's such an overpowering flavor that all I taste is black olives.
You eat them straight out of the can?
Oh, I'll eat them straight out of the can, but
I
putting them on
will.
like pizza or like on a sandwich or something, I refuse because that's all I taste.
Yeah, I'm a garbage disposal when it comes to food.
Hell yeah.
There's nothing I won't shove down the gullet,
He's
dude.
on a seafood diet. He sees food and he eats it.
From Racine, you're not too far away from Chicago, so I was just curious whether or not you were a big Chicago pizza fan.
I love Chicago deep dish.
Oh.
And all you New Yorkers out there can just keep your pizza. I love Chicago deep dish. Yeah. I make it a point at least once a year. My birthday, we went down there and the girlfriend had a chance to try the different Chicago deep dish. I don't sauce on top. It's not something we see around a lot of other places, but I think it's perfect.
Interesting.
I'm
And no
more of a
ketchup on your hot
Detroit.
dogs, man.
Oh my gosh, that's my favorite. Costco. I go to Costco and get a hot dog and a soda and put some ketchup on it. It's so good. But yeah, I for pizza, I'm more of a Detroit style guy. I love Jets pizza
Mmm.
style.
Hell yeah. I just love pizza, man. Pizza's so good.
Doesn't
It's a
matter
good
what it
go-to.
is.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with a good pie, man. You can't.
Well, I wanted to thank you, John, for coming on and talking to us for a little over an hour. And, we really appreciate what you're doing for the paintball community, for the Midwest paintball community, making sure everybody's feeling welcomed and, building those relationships with people and teams. And I just want to thank you for coming on this podcast and thanking you for what you do for our community.
Hey, man, I'm honored to be here. So early in the game for you guys to reach out, I really feel I feel honored, man. And I love that you guys are creating. Yeah, the podcast is huge. I
Yeah.
think the more that we put out there, the more that people can understand what we're doing here. I am not just sitting in the woods in a ghillie suit looking down a scope. All right. So thank you guys, man, for real.
Yeah, for sure.
We appreciate it.
So John, what's the most important thing to remember before going out onto the field?
God, just fucking play.